A strategy is we're creating a unique and valuable position. Where are we creating that position? Where you play, right? We have to position ourselves where we play. If we're in hockey, right, if we're a hockey team, and we're in the middle of a second period, and we have a strategy to make sure that we score top, our goal is to win the game, but we have a strategy to score from the corners, for instance. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to position ourselves to ensure someone in the corners to score the puck, but we have to move ourselves there. We have to make decisions all throughout that period. So unique and valuable positioning, but to the point of the differentiation, involving a different set of activities than anyone else in the market. Who's read The Art of War? The book The Art of War? Yeah, great strategy book, right? And what are we trying to do? We're trying to win a war. And we're going to have, and that's a goal, to win the war. And we're going to take all these different steps, right, that we're going to do, that we need to explain, set up, figure out, map out to win the war. So we want to position ourselves, and then we need to go back and look again. Because what we do today, tomorrow, your biggest competitor could have bought your biggest customer. Now what are you going to do? So our map just changed. Something internally could happen. Maybe you bought a company. Something just changed. So we're doing this because our environment is constantly changing. We get a strategy and we have to adjust it along the way. Mapping this stuff out is trying to find the white space that we can move ourselves to position ourselves differently. In both of my businesses, there were already elephants in the marketplace. You know, people said, why would you be successful in the marketplace? In my very first two products we put in the market in my first company, we were very unsuccessful. The products were awesome technically, but we were unsuccessful because we failed to position the products uniquely and valuably into the marketplace. We failed heavily. We did not evaluate. This is one of the reasons why I love this session. We failed there. Strategy. Who believes they have that here today? A truly differentiated strategy in their business. It's hard to scale up your company without a truly differentiated strategy. Execution has to be flawless, but flawless execution comes from constantly looking at the environment you're playing in. And then of course, if we are, we've got it all beating, cash. Cash is the key to your growth. It's your gas. You can't drive a bus to Halifax if you don't have cash to put gas in the tank. So, how do we scale up the business? That's the question that 96% of companies are asking out there. How do we go from the mouse to the gazelle? And this is the slide, this last slide is how you do it. Those are 4 things that have to have systems to make sure that they're going around and around, but you have to make sure they all go at the same beat. And we're worried about all those 4 pillars at the same time. So the smartest people in the room, definitely not the CEOs in this room. It's all the team members. All the players on your team are the smartest people in the room. So on the external tools, we're going to use the map. We're also going to use Porter's 5 Forces. Quite frankly, I didn't do that in business school. I either missed that day in class or never even got it. But found it later on, and what I loved about it is we can make it into a picture. We can easily look at what are the forces, have a great discussion with our team. We'll do the value chain, and we'll do the activity fit map, which are Porter's as well. But again, they were visual, is why we love them. Right? We have to spend time weekly on our strategy, and that's why the pictures that I want to come up with and share with you today are really important. It's not this big long meeting. It's look at the picture. Is that still true? Did something change? If it did, how do we adjust? How do we ensure we're positioned to continue to win? So who feels they have pretty good habits going in their companies today? That you're practicing getting better at business? So, any nods in the back? Yes? You got rhythms? Are rhythms alive in your organization? Okay, and most companies have some rhythms. Sometimes they beat though when the leader's there, and sometimes they don't beat when the leader's not there. So what we're trying to do with habits is to ensure that it's constantly beating, regardless of who's there. We set a framework that works for your organization that beats, and it's not dependent upon the leader. But we know in order to have a great foundation to have the best strategic thinking, we've got to have our culture intact. So we have the leader at the bottom, our core purpose, our core values. We've got to have a big, hairy, audacious goal. If we don't know where we're going, it's really hard to make decisions today for where we're going to end up, where we're going to win. And then we have our cohesive system. Good News was a part of that, but everything we're doing daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually is to keep that team tight. And then we spent a good session in January on the human system. Who's implemented some of top grading in the room? Oh, awesome. Okay, Good News with top grading, working? Okay, great. I've done a lot of work probably since January top grading with a lot of different companies. And it's probably the biggest thing to hold this side of the house up so that your team members, your A players, don't fall out the side. Right? We want our C players very nicely exit the back door, but we want our A players to stay in our team and contribute. And then, of course, we have our execution and our strategy, and it's going around and around and around, and we're doing that as a very, thoughtfully. We have the circle touching every part of the outside of the house. We have to keep everyone in the same rhythm, no matter what that rhythm is that you've decided it to be in your organization. So the culture piece, just a reminder, core values, core purpose, a painted picture. Again, we need a picture. People relate to that. They see it quickly. They understand it. They can buy into it. As well, we need a goal. So if we have this, this will drive our strong, clear, known culture, and that's the CEO's number one priority. So the CEO in a lot of companies is expected to make all the decisions. And truly, we don't want and can't have one person making all the decisions. You can't grow a company that way. So we want the whole team to know about these areas, where we're going, what we're doing, and be able to make these everyday decisions we need, the best decisions and the best ways forward because they know where we're going. So predictable results is why we're doing all this. As a CEO myself, I knew that if I could predict where we're going to be next year, I would have a job next year. And if I could predict the next year, I would have a job the next year. And so it took all the stress out of building a company if I could predict the results. And also not only predict the results, but manage the expectations of my board, our customers, our partners, and our team members.